Hello you guys, Danny here, and today is a very exciting day for me as a film fan because the Oscar nominations have been announced. I don't know what they are. I heard a couple ones. I heard that a certain film that I have to tell you how much I loved it, and how much it's got better for me over time, but I've heard that has got a lot of awards. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to spoil it for you, but I heard it over the radio when I was coming back from school. Just got back from school. I just want to get this video done because I want to know what was announced, and I want to talk about it with you. This is going to be a one-take video. I just want to go into it. It's probably going to be really long. The event, I think, is about 11 minutes. You'll get that on screen, but you'll also get, well, my voice there. You'll also see, I could have redone that, but I'm not going to do it again. But you're going to get a lot of stuff here. But before I go into it, I have to talk about the tragic passing of Alan Rickman. I heard about it when I was having lunch, and it shook me. I didn't realize he had cancer, and after David Bowie, just that happening maybe 3 days ago, and now this happening, it's really sad. I mean, two legendary actors slash musicians dying that close together. It hurts. It really does hurt because, you know, you may not know who Alan Rickman is at first, but he was in Harry Potter. You have to know. You'd have to know Severus Snape, and obviously Galaxy Quest, such a good movie. Tim Allen, really funny film. And then Die Hard. You have to know him in Die Hard. Come on, if you haven't seen Die Hard, give it a watch. Do it at least for Alan Rickman's sake. He's really great in it. And it sucks. It's a really sucky situation. And just celebrate the great acting career that he's had, and how much of a good person. Because I've seen a lot of interviews with this guy, and he seems like a awesome person to hang around with. And he's just, I like the life that he lived. He had a great life, but let's all just remember him. That's all I wanted to say. So anyway, let's get into the Oscars. I would say they may mention it. I don't know. Maybe they'll mention it. They should. It's the passing of that guy. I mean, come on. But anyway, let's get into it, and let's lighten up the mood, I guess. But anyway, let's watch it. Here we go.
Directors Guillermo del Toro and Ang Lee.
Oh wow. Getting Guillermo on first.
Good morning. We have a lot to get to this morning, so I will announce the nominees in the first 11 of the 24 categories. Let's get started. For Best Original Song, the nominees are Earned It from 50 Shades of Grey, Manta Ray from Racing Extinction,
No one.
Simple Song Number 3.
Yes, that's definitely
Till It
good.
Happens to You from The Hunting Ground, and Writings on the Wall from Spectre.
Oh, that was expected. I want Simple Songs to win because that was just brilliant.
The nominees are,
But we'll see.
Carol, The Hateful
Haven't
Eight,
seen it yet. Yeah, that's 70 millimeter.
Fury Road,
Yes.
The
This
Revenant.
film had to get. Thank you.
and Sicario.
Yeah, fine. Sicario's getting the mention, and this is going well so far.
Documentary short subject, the nominees are Body Team 12, Chow, Beyond the Lines, Claude Lanzmann, Spectres of the Show, A Girl in the River, The Price of Forgiveness, and Last Day of Freedom.
Haven't heard of any of them.
For Best Documentary
think.
Feature, the nominees are
Come on.
Amy,
Okay, I haven't seen it yet, but I've
Cartel
heard good things. I've heard about that.
The Look of
Oh,
Silence,
that's great.
What Happened Miss Simone, and Winter for Fire, Ukraine's Fight for Freedom.
I was hoping Listen to Me, Marlon would get nominated
For
on that list.
achievement in costume
That was
design,
brilliant,
the nominees
and it
are
should have been nominated to me.
Carol,
One of my favorite films of the year.
Cinderella,
Yeah, that's
The Danish Girl,
that should have happened. I don't know. I
Mad
haven't seen it.
Max Fury Road,
Yes,
and The Revenant.
that The Revenant has to win that. Just how much time they put into the costume and things like that, it's just
For
incredible.
achievement in sound editing, the nominees are Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian,
Yes! The Martian's
The
in there.
Revenant,
Yes, the Revenant's getting everything.
Sicario,
Mm.
and Star Wars,
Yo!
Force
Hey!
Awakens.
That's a brilliant
For
list.
achievement in sound
Brilliant.
mixing, the nominees are Bridge of Spies,
I'm gonna probably
Mad
watch that
Max
soon.
Fury Road,
Yeah! Another Mad
Martian.
Max.
The Revenant,
Mm-hmm.
and Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Yes. Great list again. And I agree with them all.
In makeup and hairstyling, the nominees are
The Revenant.
Mad Max Fury
Mad
Road,
Max, yeah. I mean, like, it's pretty
the
good.
100-year-old man who climbed out a window and disappeared,
Is that a
and
book
The
based on a
Revenant.
book? Because I'm in the middle of reading that. The Revenant had to get nominated for that.
best
It
live
had
action
to.
short
It's
film,
incredible what they
The
did with that.
nominees are Ave Maria, Day One, Everything Will Be Okay, Alice Wird Good, Shock, and Stutter.
I've not heard of any of these. That makes me feel kind of bad.
For Best Animated Short Film, the nominees are
Lava has to
Bear
get nominated.
Story,
I've heard of that.
Prologue.
I haven't watched it though. I think I've heard of that.
Sanjay's Super Team,
Mm-hmm.
We Can't Live Without Cosmos, and World of Tomorrow.
Oh wow. Lava didn't get nominated. It's a pretty good film though.
For Best Animated
Short
Feature
film
Film,
list.
the nominees are Anomalisa,
I've heard great things
Boy
about
and the
that.
World, Inside Out,
Yes. It has to win.
Shaun the
It's
Sheep
gonna win.
Movie, and When Marnie Was There.
I've heard amazing things about that too.
Congratulations.
Stay tuned for the second part of our announcement with Academy President Cheryl Boone Isaacs and John Krasinski. Thank you.
Is it gonna be like a break or something like that? Or is it gonna skip on? Alright, okay, skip on.
Academy President Cheryl Boone Isaacs and John Krasinski.
Apparently, the film that he's in, 13 Hours, is meant to be great. Like a
What
return
an
for Michael
exciting
Bay.
morning. Thank you, Guillermo and Aang, for kicking it off. John, let's continue. For performance by an actor in a supporting role, the nominees are Christian Bale in The Big Short,
Yes. Yes, he was
Tom
great
Hardy
in that film.
in The Revenant,
Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo in Spotlight,
He got me tearing up on that
Mark
film.
Rylance in Bridge of Spies,
Haven't seen it yet. Heard it's
and
great.
Sylvester Stallone in Creed.
Yes! Yes! Stallone's getting on it.
For
Thank you.
performance by
Thank
an actress in a supporting role, the nominees are Jennifer Jason Leigh, The Hateful Eight, Rooney Mara in Carol,
you. She was okay.
Rachel
I haven't
McAdams
seen it
in
yet.
Spotlight,
Yeah, she
Alicia
does.
Vikander
Right.
in The Danish Girl,
Haven't seen it yet.
and Kate Winslet in Steve Jobs.
Yes. I want her to win that. Yeah. But I think
For
Rooney Mara's
achievement
probably
in
going to win.
visual effects,
I don't know.
the
We'll see.
nominees
Talk
are
about it later.
Ex Machina,
Yes!
Mad Max Fury
Wow.
Road,
Yeah, yes.
The Martian,
Mm-hmm. Beautiful
The
films.
Revenant, and Star Wars: The Force
It had
Awakens.
to get. It's. I feel like it's gonna go to Star Wars, but
For
I don't know.
achievement in film
I'll have to
editing,
think about
the
that one.
nominees are The Big Short, Mad Max Fury Road,
No.
The Revenant,
Yeah.
Spotlight, and Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
For achievement in production design, the nominees are Bridge of Spies, The Danish Girl, Mad
haven't seen
Max
them.
Fury Road,
Mad Max is getting nominated for
The Martian,
everything. And that Martian.
and The Revenant.
Wow, they're getting all the nominations.
For
It's like
adapted
these
screenplay,
specific
the
films are
nominees
getting nominated, really.
Charles Randolph and Adam McKay for The Big
Sorry, I'm
Short.
still eating stuff.
Nick Hornby for Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Phyllis Naj for Carol. Drew Goddard for The Martian. And Emma Donahue for Room.
I've heard so much good stuff about The Room. About Room, not
For
The Room,
original
but Room.
screenplay, the nominees are Matt Charman, Ethan Cohen, and Joel Cohen for Bridge of Spies. Alex Garland for Ex Machina. Pete Docter, Meg LeBeau,
Yeah.
Josh Cooley, and
I'm
Ronnie
happy
Del
with that.
Carmen for
Inside Out's
Inside
getting
Out.
that. I want
Josh
Inside Out to
Singer
get that,
and Tom
probably.
McCarthy for
Actually, no,
Spotlight.
Spotlight needs to get that.
And Jonathan Herman, Andrea Burloff, Esley Savage,
I haven't
and
seen
Alan
Straight Outta
Rankins
Compton
for
either.
Straight Outta Compton.
I need to get down all these films that are nominated, but I've seen
For
quite a
original
few.
score,
It's not all
the
of them.
nominees are Thomas Newman for Bridge of Spies. Carter Burwell for Carol. Ennio Morricone for The Hateful Eight.
I like the score. Let's say
Johan
I really
Johansson
did like
for
it.
Sicario.
Yes.
And John Williams for Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
That's a good lineup.
In the best foreign
I would have
language
included
film
Revenant,
category,
honestly, for
the
me.
nominees are
It's great.
from Colombia, Embrace of the Serpent. From France, Mustang. From Hungary, Son of Saul.
I got the
From
Golden Globe, I
Jordan,
think.
Thebe. And from Denmark, A War.
For achievement in directing, the nominees are
Oh,
Adam McKay for The Big Short.
I like
George
that. Yeah,
Miller
that's a
for
good one.
Mad Max.
Yes! Oh, come on.
Alejandro G. Iñárritu for The
That
Revenant.
was expected, and I'm
Lenny
glad.
Abrahamson for Room. And Tom McCarthy for Spotlight.
Yeah, yes. That's a great list. Great
For
list.
performance by an actress
I think I've
in a
seen
leading
all 5 of
role.
those films.
The nominees are
Actually, no, I haven't seen The Room.
Kate
A Room.
Blanchett in Carol. Brie
Yes.
Larson in Room.
Wow.
Jennifer Lawrence in Joy. Charlotte
Come on.
Rampling in 45 Years. And Saoirse Ronan in Brooklyn.
Oh. That's a... Kate Blanchett's one. I'm not...
Performance by an actor
I
in a
haven't seen the
leading
film,
role.
and I
The
know.
nominees are Bryan Cranston in Trumbo.
Oh, wow.
Matt Damon in The Martian.
Yes!
Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant. Michael
My favorite
Fassbender
performance
in
of the year.
Steve Jobs.
Yes! Michael
And
Fassbender,
Eddie
second
Redmayne
favorite performance.
in The Danish Girl.
Okay. I like the list.
And
2
finally,
of those films I haven't
we are
seen.
pleased to announce the films selected as the Best
Okay,
Picture
here we
nominees.
go.
They are The Big Short, Brad Pitt, Dee
How
Dee
many
Gardner,
are
and
they
Jeremy
doing this year?
Kleiner, producers.
I like it, but how many
Bridge
are
of
they doing?
Spies, Steven Spielberg,
Ca-
Mark Platt,
I've
and
heard
Christy
good things, but I haven't heard
Krieger,
best of the
producers.
year.
Brooklyn, Finola Dwyer and Amanda Posey, producers. Mad Max Fury Road,
Yeah.
Duck Nichols
Yes!
and George Miller.
Oh my gosh. Yes! Mad Max
Martian.
Best Picture.
Simon Kinberg,
The Martian.
Ridley Scott,
What?
Michael Schaefer,
This is crazy.
and Mark Huffam, producers. The Revenant, Arnon Milchan, Steve Golan,
This is so good.
Alejandro G.
This is
Iñárritu,
a perfect.
Mary Parent, and Keith Redmond, producers.
This is perfect.
Room, Ed Guy,
Again, I haven't seen it, but
producer.
it just so they're doing 10
And
pictures this year.
Spotlight, Michael
Oh,
Sugar,
wow.
Steve Golan,
This is a
Nicole Brockman,
brilliant
and
list.
Bly Pagan Faust,
Brilliant
producers.
list.
For the complete list of all the nominations, please
Oh
visit
wow,
Oscar.com.
that.
And join us Sunday night, February 28th, to celebrate these incredible artists and films at the Oscars with our host, Chris Rock. See you then.
Brilliant list. Let's go down the ones that there's a few lists that listed at the start. That they're not really my thing that I would mention, that I want to mention. But let's go down the list they've got is really weirdly ordered. But do you know what? Let's talk about best animated feature. I want to talk about the best animated feature. The funny thing is, I have only seen one of the animated features this year, which is crazy. They have When Marnie Was There. I think that's a Studio Ghibli film. Is it Ghibli or I think it's Ghibli, but I think it's Ghibli. I don't know. But then Boy in the Wild, haven't heard of it. Shaun the Sheep, heard amazing things. My parents went to see it. They really liked it. I was like, okay. My parents, they have probably different opinions of films than me. I was like, okay, this is probably just a kid's film. But I'm hearing so much good word about this film. So it must be really good. Then Inside Out. Come on. It's one of the best films I've seen this year. One of the best Pixar films I've ever seen. It is incredible. Social workers and things like that use Inside Out to help kids with disabilities and things like that. And maybe not even with disabilities. Just be able to convey their emotion. Be able to say whether they're feeling like joy, whether they're feeling like sadness. That is amazing to me. And it's had such an impact on kids. Just incredible. I'm so happy with the way that film turned out. I think for kids that'll probably end up being their favourite animated film from Pixar. It's one of my favourite. It probably has the biggest impact, I would say, out of all the Pixar films for that demographic. It did so well, and the director Pete Docter and the team involved did a spectacular job at conveying the story. I'm just very happy that it's on there. It was gonna be on there. If it wasn't on there, we would riot. It would be like last year with the Lego Movie. The Lego Movie should have been nominated. What happened? But I think I don't know if they apologized, but I feel like they did. They had that part where it was like everything is awesome, and then had the Lego Oscar statues. Sometimes they make mistakes, but it's not them, it's the voters. But anyway, and then there's Anomalisa. I'm gonna watch this within the week, I would say. I really want to see it because I've been hearing such great things. Apparently it's the most human story of the year, but then again, who knows? Until you watch it, I can't really say anything on that. But it's just, I just realised they didn't have The Good Dinosaur on. I haven't seen that yet. That's probably one of the first films I've missed from Pixar. I don't know why. It was one of the most anticipated films of the year. Before we even got footage, it was in my top 10, I think. I was just really intrigued by the whole thing. That the dog, there's the human and the dog sort of story, and the dog is the human, and the human-like character is the dinosaur. So I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, let's move on to the next category. They're all really weirdly spread out. Best visual effects. Let's talk about best visual effects. Ex Machina, getting that best visual effects. Look, that film, I don't know how much it was made for, but I'm sure it was in the low millions, like 7 digits sort of thing, like really low to make. It was incredible. They made Alicia Vikander look like normal, like look like it was in real life, that she was actually this android. And that film overall is just stupidly good. It just blew me away. Especially that ending. Wow, if you've seen that ending, blew me away. It was crazy. I was left like, for like 10 minutes after watching it, I was like, what did I just see? That was incredible. But then, like, this whole list of best visual effects is incredible. It's a really good list. Mad Max Fury Road, glad it's there. There's a lot of practical effects, but the visual effects made in there, so hard to see. That's something I love. That you don't notice the visual effects, where you see a guy flying over you think it's an actual guy. Different areas, different ways. Like, they probably created a lot of the mountains, the mountainscapes. They probably had mountains there, but then they would just build them up. Afterwards, after the post-production stuff, they would probably build it up and make it look a lot better. And it's so realistic. The film is so realistic. I mean, you would go, but it's in sand. What are you talking about? How can you do a lot of visuals? They did it so well that I just can't fault any of the way they voted it. I think they did a fantastic job with a general film, which I'll get to later. I mean, this may be my favorite year for the Oscars, because they're going with everything. They're bringing in films like Mad Max and The Martian, and showing the love with Star Wars and things like that. It's incredible. And then, speaking of The Martian is on Best Visual Effects. I said whenever I watched that film that it has incredible visuals. The visuals in that film, I mean, a lot. Like I said, I've said it's a lot of sand. It's a lot of space sand, but it's Mars sand. But it's the way they sort of or dirt, you could really say, but it's the way they did it, that it was the way it was shot, the way you would see these massive mountains, the way you would feel like you were on Mars. That's what really made it special to me. Then The Revenant, I think I've come to the conclusion that The Revenant has the best animal CGI I've ever seen. That bear, most realistic thing I've ever seen out of CGI, I think, ever. I thought that bear was on screen mauling Leonardo DiCaprio, which I'll get to later. I need to talk about The Revenant and talk about my relisting on my favorite films of 2015. I have to talk about it. But then Star Wars The Force Awakens. It had to be there, okay? I love Star Wars The Force Awakens. Such a great return to form. I sort of return to form. It's not as good as the originals for me. I think people are holding it at a really high standard. They need to step back a little bit and look at the full picture. It's not as good as... It's not a masterpiece. It's just a great film. But it's not a masterpiece. There's a lot of problems. But one of my favorite films of the year, and the visuals are really good. There was one scene in the film, visuals were questionable. It was one time where they didn't use practical monsters. You just have this weird squid monster running around the place. Bit weird. The visuals weren't great on that. But then you've got the fighting, let me say that again. The only time we've had in Star Wars, I think it's the only time in Star Wars we've had land battles, was technically on Hoth, and it was very short-lived. But in this, we had incredible land battles with the Millennium Falcon going out throughout Jakku. We had it on the Starkiller base with Poe and his squadron of X-Wing fighters. Incredible. So realistic looking. There was, like I said, there was probably like one problem with the visuals, and that was it. I was immersed in the areas that they'd put me in. I was just completely hooked. So I think that's a deserved win. To me, I want The Revenant to win, because not only that whole, I don't know how much visuals they put in, but it looked like the most realistic film of the year. So I don't know. It's between The Revenant and Star Wars The Force Awakens. All the other ones kind of had very subtle CGI, and The Revenant and Star Wars just had... It was subtle. It was definitely subtle, but I could tell just how beautiful they made the films look with the visuals. And that goes into cinematography too. That comes to mention. I'm pretty sure The Revenant got cinematography. It had to get cinematography. I'll look down this list as I go. But best film editing, The Big Short, such a good film. I love the way they filmed it. I love the way whenever you wouldn't know what, because I don't know what the whole banking situation was back then in like 2007 and 2009 with the whole banking crisis and the housing crisis in America. I didn't know about that. I don't know about no banking crisis, but it's just the way they were able to talk about it, and then you'd have like Ryan Gosling or something like that turn his head, look at the camera, break the fourth wall, and just talk to you and say and sort of explain the situation. Because there were sometimes some things wouldn't be the way it actually played out in real life, and he would say, or another character would break the fourth wall and say that. It just, yeah. My mind's blown. I can't say it enough. This is incredible. But anyway, let's continue. Mad Max Fury Road, best editing. It's hard to say. I look at all this list. You got The Revenant, Star Wars: The Force Awakens, Spotlight. Their editing was so tight. The way they this is a perfect list of films that were incredibly edited. I don't know. To me, I may go for Spotlight. But it's a hard one. Do you know what? It's Mad Max Fury Road. I know I just switched it just there, but it's Mad Max Fury Road. The way that film was edited, it was incredible. The choice of the speed they would go at, that sometimes whenever you have Max jumping over the car and almost jumping out of that ledge during the start of the film, the way that was edited was incredible. I mean, I'm very I'm certain that I want that film to win that, but we'll have to see. Best production design. Look, I've seen 3 out of the 5 films that have been nominated: Bridge of Spies, The Danish Girl, Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, Revenant. I've seen Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, and Revenant, and I think The Danish Girl is going to win this. I have a feeling, a little bit of a feeling, but I want The Revenant to win this. The production design, oh, so good, incredible. It's The Revenant. I'm going with The Revenant. Best adapted screenplay. I have seen 2 of the 5 films. There's a few films I've just missed this year, and they all decided to get nominated. Brooklyn. Oh, I was about to watch it the other night, and then I decided not to. I decided to stay at home and just not watch it. Carol. Oh, I just haven't had the chance to watch it. And Room. I haven't got the chance. I don't even think it's released yet, so I haven't been able to watch it. And then, well, I've seen Big Short and The Martian, and The Martian is, I can't, like, right now, at the moment, the 2 films I've seen, The Big Short, The Martian, I'm going to give it to The Big Short. But I think afterwards, I think Carl's probably going to get it, but The Big Short, I kind of wanted to win. Anyway, best original screenplay, I have seen 3 out of the 5 films again. I haven't seen Straight Outta Compton, I haven't seen Bridge of Spies, but I have seen Ex Machina, Inside Out, and Spotlight. And for sure, Spotlight, it has to win this. It was an incredible script. The way this film was written, the dialogue, the story points, it was so well done. Okay, let's move on to the next one, if I'm reading it right. Best original score. Let's talk about the score. Bridge of Spies, Carol, The Hateful Eight, Sicario, and Star Wars: Force Awakens. I've only seen 3 of them. Again, it's always 3. I haven't seen Bridge of Spies or Carol, but I have seen The Hateful Eight, Sicario, and Star Wars: The Force Awakens. This is a hard one. Star Wars: The Force Awakens is going to win it, but do I want it to win? That's a hard question, because Star Wars, for one thing, the Star Wars scores are my favorite scores of all time. I feel like they kind of blew it with this one. I mean, it was still incredible, but it didn't have as much of the originality as the prequels did, and as the original Star Wars films did, adding their own sort of thing. There was a bit, but I don't know. I'm gonna have... I want to say Star Wars, but I have to look at it from a really critical perspective, and I may go with Sicario. I think I'm going to go with Sicario. Massive Star Wars fan, but I don't know. It's between those 2. It's such a tight race. It's between Sicario and Star Wars: The Force Awakens. That's just me. Let's move on to the next one. Best Director. Adam McKay for The Big Short. George Miller for Mad Max Fury Road. Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu for The Revenant. Lenny Abrahamson from The Room. And Tom McCarthy for Spotlight. The best director, it's Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu. I'm giving it for The Revenant. It has to be. George Miller, incredible job with Mad Max. I would have said it 3 months ago. But I saw The Revenant almost a month ago, I think. Yeah, almost a month ago. And, no, not a month ago, 3 weeks ago. It blew me away. It's an incredibly well-directed film with amazing acting. I will talk about this later, but Leonardo DiCaprio, he's gonna get it. He should get it. He's an incredible performance in this film. It's one of my favorite performances, probably my favorite performance from Leonardo DiCaprio. The pain that he felt whenever his son gets killed, and that is in the trailer. That's not really a spoiler if it's already in the trailer. That's part of the story, and it happens pretty early on. That's what sparks the whole story anyway, so you kind of have to know about it. But the way, people had a problem, and it annoys the crap out of me that people have a problem with this, that whenever he was hit in the neck, so he couldn't speak. He was having problems with speaking. He couldn't shout at Fitzgerald for killing his son. He was just spitting at the mouth, just being like, and people had problems with that. I absolutely loved it. It got me so emotionally. The way he acted, it just blew me away. And I'm pretty sure that that was because of Inarritu. He gave him the points to do that because of that. That's what the character did. That's what happened to his neck. He couldn't speak. He had trouble speaking. Throughout the film, he was eventually able to speak to the characters, but it's just... wow. Just wow. Inarritu. I want the Revenant to win more than any of the other ones from like a massive level. He just did an absolutely incredible job. He deserves to win it. He just really does. Best Actress in a Leading Role, Cate Blanchett, Brie Larson, Jennifer Lawrence, Charlotte Rampling, and Saoirse Ronan. I think Saoirse Ronan's going to win this. I haven't seen it yet, but you know, she's an Irish. She's from New York, from the Bronx, but she's Irish now. She's got the accent and everything. I want Brooklyn to win. There's a part of me, but Cate Blanchett, she probably will win it. It's between those two. 45 years, I've heard of it, but I didn't hear a lot about it. But Charlotte Rampling, good luck in the rest, I guess. Jennifer Lawrence, what? I've been hearing she's good, but I haven't been hearing like amazing things about it. Like Jennifer Lawrence again get a nomination. I don't see it, and I'm a little bit annoyed. There should have been a spot there for Alicia Vikander, and that just... Actually, no, she got supporting actress nomination for Danish Girl, I think. So she's already got a nomination, but actually, no, it even makes sense, because in her leading role, Alicia Vikander, she was a supporting character in that film, so what am I saying? But anyway, I just think someone else, I'm trying to, like, go through the list of names. I mean, I could even say, and I could say that, Daisy Ridley for Star Wars The Force Awakens is Rey. It was better. I don't know, but I haven't seen Joy, so I can't really say anything. But anyway, let's move on to the best actor in a leading role. Bryan Cranston for Trumbo. I didn't even expect that. Other than the film, Trumbo was based on that whole thing, and the character that he played was sort of like a ghostwriter, and he got loads of Oscars, but no one knew the writer. So it's just an interesting story. I haven't actually watched it, but I probably will soon. Matt Damon for The Martian. Incredible performance. Definitely deserves this nomination. Leonardo DiCaprio for The Revenant. He's winning it. That's all I'm going to say. He was absolutely incredible. His visual performance, probably the best I've ever seen. The visceral nature to everything that was happening to him. Extraordinary. I have to say that. Michael Fassbender, Steve Jobs. He's probably going to be the one that wins it, but I still have a feeling that Leo's going to win it. I still do. But Michael Fassbender, best performance of his career. He was just a revelation in this film, the way he was able to perform as that character. People had a problem that he didn't look like Steve Jobs. He didn't need to look like Steve Jobs. He just gave him the look, the general look of Steve Jobs with the hair type, the clothes that he wore, and then that was him done. He spoke like him. He just the way was compellingly able to compellingly able to play this character with the use of words that he had, with sort of thinking he was always right. He never, throughout the film he was always right. That's the way he acted, and he never looked at the wrong side of something. He came up with a lot of expressions that made no sense to other people. And that's one of those films that was really well written. That was so well written, from the characters' relationships. I just loved the way his relationship with his daughter grew as the three events happened. And it got to the point where it was just... I don't even want to spoil it. But anyway, Eddie Redmayne for The Danish Girl. Haven't seen it, but I've heard good things. I've heard good things. I think it was bound for this to happen. He would get nominated for this type of film. But congratulations. That's all I can really say for now until I watch it. If I do watch it. Is that it? Now, can I want to get the best director. Did I talk about... I feel like I'm missing a few. Yes, I am. Best actress in a supporting role. Jennifer Jason Leigh from The Hateful Eight. Rooney Mara for Carol, Rachel McAdams for Spotlight, Alicia Vikander for The Danish Girl, and Kate Winslet for Steve Jobs. I want Kate Winslet to win. I've only seen 3 of the films. It's always 3. I mean, it's generally these sort of films are getting nominated. The Hateful Eight's a little bit out, but it's Carol and Spotlight, The Danish Girl, and Steve Jobs, and all these other sort of films like The Big Short and The Revenant they're getting nominated. And for me, I think Alicia Vikander's going to win it, but Kate Winslet, I want to win. I want to win, and I hope she wins. She was incredible in that film. Anyway, next one, Best Actor in a Supporting Role: Christian Bale for The Big Short, Tom Hardy for The Revenant, Mark Ruffalo for Spotlight, Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies, and Sylvester Stallone for Creed. Look, to me, out of this list, Tom Hardy was the best. He was the best, and Christian Bale was great, but he had such a small role, and it wasn't as impactful as I felt people were kind of leading it on to be. But he was still great. I'm glad he got the nomination. He deserves it. Mark Rylance, heard amazing things. He probably is going to win it, judging on how people think of it. Sylvester Stallone, look, Tom Hardy, he's the best, and he's going to get his chance to win his Oscar very soon. He's an incredible actor. It's going to happen eventually, and he was incredible in The Revenant. And if it's going to happen, and if it happens, I will be so happy. I'll be so happy that he gets his win. But I want Sylvester Stallone to win. Okay, it's his time. It's this is probably his last big performance that he'll ever make, and it's probably his best performance ever. And he was incredible in Creed. He did such a great job with situations that happen in that film that I'm not going to spoil. But he was incredible, and I want him to win. And I just want him to get on that stage and accept his award. I wanted to win. That's it. That's all I gotta say. But now I want to talk about the biggest list, the one that I was most intrigued in and seeing what would be announced. I feel like I'm missing something, but we're gonna go ahead anyway. Best Picture nominations are The Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn, Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, Room, and Spotlight. Brilliant list. Okay, whenever I heard that Mad Max Fury Road and The Martian were going to be on this list, it blew my mind. I'll go through them. The Big Short, loved it. Not going to win. I don't want it to win. It was such a great film, but not that good in comparison to the other films, but it's still a great film. Bridge of Spies, I haven't seen it, and I expect to watch it soon, but I've heard good things. I haven't heard Best Picture worthy things, so I just don't think it's going to win. Brooklyn, heard very good things. I wouldn't be surprised. It has a chance. Talk about another one I haven't seen. Room. I've heard good and terrible things about this film. I've heard people going, "This is incredible, best film of the year," and then people saying it's the worst film I've seen this year. Why would this even be considered for this list? So I'm torn on what to think. So I don't know. And then Spotlight. Incredible, have to say it, but let's talk about The Martian. The Martian, I love this choice. I wouldn't put it there myself because I think that Steve Jobs should have took its place. But it makes me so happy that they're bringing in a sci-fi film to this. It's just it's incredible. And I mean, Mad Max Fury Road, could you call that a sci-fi film? Could you? I think I'm pretty sure it's a sci-fi film. When I think about it, I think so. I mean, it's post-apocalyptic and things like that, but I don't know. But let's talk about The Revenant. I have to talk about this film. When I made my top 10 most anticipated, or when I made my list of favorite films of 2015, I put The Revenant at number 8, I think. And I recorded that the day after I watched the film, and I uploaded it quite a while after, which annoys me that it took me that long to upload it. But The Revenant, after thought, it has got higher and higher and higher on my list. I'm going to see the film again on Saturday, so it's very high on my list, and I think it may be my favourite film of the year. I think it actually managed to go from 8 to 1. I don't know. I'm going to have to put a lot more time and thought into that choice. But I've seen it once and I was blown away. And the more and more I thought about the technicality of the film, the story itself, the acting, the scenes, it blew me away. And I don't know, but I think it may have overtook Mad Max for being my second favorite film of the year. I may have took over Spotlight for being my favorite film of the year. I'm gonna have to really think about it, but we'll have to see. You see, with me, I said this at the end of that video, Spotlight and Mad Max Fury Road were sort of tied. It's sort of now a three-way race for me. That sounds so weird. Anyway, but it's Mad Max Fury Road, The Revenant, and Spotlight. They're all just tied with me. Look, if Mad Max wins, I'm going to be over the moon. The Revenant, if it wins, I will be extremely happy. If Spotlight wins, I will be extremely happy. So, whatever one wins, I'm very happy for it. I just can't come up with one that I really want to win the most. The Revenant has been nominated for 12 Academy Awards. 12. It's almost beat who was it? It was The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. It almost beat its record with 13. Actually, no, that's wrong, because I think it won 13. The Revenant probably isn't going to win 12. It's probably going to win like 6 or 7. If The Revenant wins, I'm going to be so happy. That's all I can say. Mad Max Fury Road has 10. The Martian has 7. I mean, like, it's an incredible year for film. I'm very happy with this, and I'm very happy with this list. It's a very good list. I'm so looking forward to the Oscars in February. My voice is starting to go. I've been talking for quite a while. I said I would talk for this long, and I did. So, anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. It's a bit long, and I enjoy making it. I have a few videos that will be out soon, and I think you're going to enjoy it. I'm probably going to have them one after another. I've got a video almost edited. It should be out soon. Most anticipated films of 2016. That's the next video that should be up after this. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this, and I will see you later, movie fans.